YouTube channel. Now, in today's video, we have... I didn't have a video recorded for today, so yesterday I put on Twitter, what do you want to see me do? I'm actually recording this on Tuesday, so yesterday was actually today, you know what I mean? And someone said, why don't you make an eating video talking about something? And, you know, he said they're nice and easy to do. I know that they're quite simple and easy. So we have my spaghetti with chorizo and peas and just a stirring sauce. Recently, I haven't touched the stirring sauces. I have been making my own from chopped tomatoes, onions, a bit of garlic, and then I add, what do I add? I can't remember the herbs I add. There's like 2 or 3. Like it's like rosemary, not rosemary. It's like oregano and some other bits. They're downstairs. I think it might be sage. I can't remember. But I add a bit in just to make it a bit herbally, and then I add a little bit of mint, as in mint leaf, not like a polo. Add a bit of mint, and then I add a good like tablespoon and a half, maybe 2 of honey, just to sweeten the sauce up a little bit. But today I have a stirring sauce because I'm in a bit of a rush. It's already 6:15, and I want to record the Road to Glory as well and get some games played. So that's me eating. I also had a comment that said do some conspiracy theories because it's been a very long time since we've read through a few of these. I think we got through quite a lot when we originally started reading this. So what I've done is I've also lowered the low cut on this, so you might hear a little bit more background noise. I do apologise. Hopefully my mum won't come running into my room going, get a fucking towels done, like she did in Monday's episode of The Road to Glory. I have edited that out since. I do apologise for that. You know me, I'm rushing things to get things done a lot of the time, so. We have this to read through. It's not going to be a top-down view, it's just going to be me sat here reading this while I eat my dinner. You guys can focus on my beautiful face, but I've also got some Pepsi, so let's go ahead and pour myself a nice glass of this. Brand new bottle. Listen to this. Okay, that's 90% froth and foam. There we go. It's right there, over there. Here we go. Listen to this. Oh, that's so cold. That's beautiful. Today it was really, really warm. I had a really warm day at work. Started off cold, so I've had my joggers on, my thermos on underneath my joggers, and then my overalls on over it. I've had my coat on as well as my high vis. Like it's only like a bib basically, but I've had my jumper and a top on. By like 12 o'clock, I was sweating bollocks, so I took it all off. I had my high vis on over my jumper and kept my legs as they were. So I'm gonna go through this quickly. I want to dive into this food because I'm hungry. Oh. So I've just sorted all my taxes out. I'm due a tax return. I was then charged £300 for 3 late fees on like the last 3 years because I've only just sorted my taxes out. I've appealed that today. I was told that the appeal went through. It was all fine, so they're refunding me now. I had to pay £109. Basically, they're and then, well, no, what was it? They owed me like however much back in tax that I'd overpaid, but then I still owed more, so I ended up paying something like £110. They then refunded me all the 300, and my accountant is sort of like taking a cut of that because he's amazing and he's a whiz and he knows what he's doing, and I ain't got a Scooby. But I spent ages looking for my P90 and trying to get all my like pay slips, and without showing you absolutely any information whatsoever. They're all in this book, like all of them, and I couldn't find them, so I had to go online and sort out all this bollocks. It took me like a whole day's worth of like fucking investigating the HMRC app, going through all my like ex-payroll. It was a pain in the fucking arse trying to get all this information, and all this time they were inside that book. I'm a knobhead. The fate of the Ourang Medan. I'm sorry if we've done this already. Is this what the Man of Medan game is based on? I'll show you a quick excerpt. It's a big ship. I'm assuming it's going to be like what the game is based on. Man of Medan, made by, I don't know who it's actually made by, but they make all them like butterfly effect games, and they're fucking incredible games. But here we have the ship, we have a map, and I'll quickly go through like what is it, and then we'll have a quick read. But it's the Malacca Strait in Malaysia. You got Borneo, Sulawesi, Indonesia, Java, Singapore, and Sumatra. What happened? The mystery. What happened to the crew of the Dutch cargo ship who were all found dead? Every one of them dead. When was it? It was either 1947 or 48. I'm assuming that's an estimate period. I'm assuming they set sail in 1947 and were found in 48. So anywhere between that time, really. So it's going to be easier if I do it this way. What am I doing with this? My dinner's going to get cold, so now that you've seen this, I'm going to take a quick bite of food and we'll get into it. Let's give it a bit of a stir again. There we go. So, that's so much better. We're going to go mono audio for this video, guys. But we are going to sit and eat. It's just because my hands need to be somewhere, and having this directly in front, and I'm trying to get around it, whereas if it's to the side of me, which it is, you guys just can't quite perspective that. My mouth is right next to it though. So this is good. I have a Domio, bacon, and sun-dried tomato stirring sauce in this. It's just spaghetti. I've diced up some chorizo and fried it off. Always fry it till it starts bubbling, like the meat itself starts bubbling. That's when you start to get the crispy outside and the really soft inside. In fact, thumbnail, sorry guys. I needed to keep the page I was on as well, otherwise I'm going to have to be searching for it again. So, let's start. In 1952, a book published by the US Coast Guard furnished details of the strange and horrible fate of the SS. I'm going to go Ourang Medan. It reported how a few years earlier the ship had been found floating in an area where the Pacific and the Indian Oceans meet. So it was floating. So it hadn't sunk, it was floating. Okay, it was above sea level. Its entire crew having met a terrifying end. But what happened on board has never been confirmed, and indeed there are those who believe the story to be entirely fictitious. I mean, it was the 40s, so there is a chance it was made up, but then it's such a big story to make up in it. The basic facts, as reported, are these. At some time in the second half of 1947, or the first half of 1948, somebody on board the Ourang Medan sent a distress message in Morse code. It began, "All officers, including captain, are dead, lying in chart room and bridge. Possibly whole crew dead." There then followed several incomprehensible passages before the most ominous of endings. "I die." That's a bit strange, that. So, the question is, if they think everyone's dead, how did the Morse code get out, and how did it say that everyone was dead if not everyone was dead? You know what I mean? time, the ship was sailing in the Malacca Straits. The SOS, oh no, at the time, the ship was sailing in the Malacca Straits. The SOS was picked up by an American vessel, the Silver Star, and within a few hours of the Ourang Medan had been located and boarded. The crew of the Silver Star faced a gruesome sight. Everyone on board had died, their faces contorted in expression of horror. Some of the victims were described as having arms outstretched, as if pointing or grasping, but there was no evidence of foul play. I don't believe that. Some of the victims were described as having. Then a fire broke out in the cargo hold, forcing the Americans to return to the Silver Star. From there, they watched the ship of death explode and sink, taking with it any hope of learning exactly what had happened. So they only got to a part of the ship where they found part of the crew dead. Funny that, innit? They didn't search the whole ship. Yeah, I'm starting to think that this might have been made up. Or not everyone had died. Maybe there were like a section of the crew on board that almost like hijackers in a sense, like terrorists that were just decided to mutiny, basically kill everyone and then blow themselves up when they were found. Maybe they were targeting other vessels. Maybe it was a case of trying to kill everyone on board, get another Navy ship close, like the American Navy ship, and then when it reached them, blow the ship up and try and cause damage to them. Do you know what I mean? Because given the fact that so the Ourang Medan, what nationality, like not nationality, but where did it set sail from? Was it a Japanese ship, or was it like an Indonesian, Malaysian ship, Singapore ship, or was it an American ship that had gone all the way out there? Because it was picked up by the US Coast Guard, or a US ship, and the story was detailed by the US Coast Guard. It doesn't tell us, Dutch cargo ship. It says Dutch. There we go. It was at the top right. You know what I mean? So it was Dutch. They're not. The Dutch aren't necessarily ones for like kamikaze and things, are they? It's like I'm going to move on before I generalise the whole nationality of people. Anyway, it was 4 years before the story made it into print, and subsequent efforts to find any record of the Ourang Medan in shipping registers proved fruitless. Right. Leading some to conclude that the whole story is a fiction, yet there are several possible alternatives. The ship may have been renamed by new owners but never re-registered. It might have adopted a new identity because it was involved in smuggling or some other nefarious activity. Finally, there is a possibility that someone deliberately destroyed the paper trail after the event in order to protect a dangerous secret. Maybe the US Coast Guard actually found weapons or intel or two-pack. You know what I mean? Yeah, maybe they found something important that they wanted to keep hidden. So, like they say, got rid of a paper trail. It's not unlike many nations to get rid of things. based on. Except they went with the next solution, which it goes into explain in a second. And they opted for a supernatural explanation. So, some, have grasped for supernatural explanations, but any solution probably lies closer to home. One theory is that the crew were overcome by methane from an underwater fissure, or carbon monoxide from a faulty onboard boiler, which would also explain the later fire and explosion. Even more intriguing is the suggestion that Ourang Medan was being used to transport biological or chemical weapons that leaked from the hold and then combusted. Like I said, it is highly, highly plausible that there was intel or weapons of such on board. You know, in the 1947-48, you are around the times of the First and Second World War. There was a lot of, well, we already know there was a lot of experimentation and weapon sort of mass production and sort of research into like the biggest weapons in the world. So it's highly plausible that there was very, very unstable weapons or whatever that were being transported. As always, we'll quickly talk through what I believe. I'm not doing it to here, am I? I think after reading this, I was going to say I think that it's made up, but I don't. I do believe that the US Navy may have found something and to save everybody in the world probably got rid of it. Maybe it was a bomb, maybe it was biological weapons, maybe it was even something less destructive than that. Maybe it was something more intel based. I don't know. Maybe they didn't want to know. Maybe they didn't want everyone else to know what they'd gathered. My reasoning behind this is such. 4 years after the story, 4 years after it happened, the story was printed. Okay, let's take that. 4 years is a long time for something to have not been told and then told. There, you can guarantee there are people that were on board that ship that knew that story, that have been telling it. Probably telling it. Maybe they all were of the understanding that this doesn't get told to anyone. So didn't tell it, but questions were obviously could have been asked within, saying, "Oh, what happened on this? What happened with that?" And this story was about to blow out. So what the Coast Guard did is furnish a story that left so much speculation that it was never ever going to get properly investigated, other than the people that wanted to. So it was easy enough to get rid of a paper trail. Now, it could be completely falsified and made up. That's another point. But if it was falsified and made up, why was the details released by the US Coast Guard? You'd usually see news outlets, media paper, absolutely anyone release information and be like, "Oh, this is all speculation." Then they have to come out and make a statement. I believe it is real because the Coast Guard released the information, whether it's true or not. Do you know what I mean? Like there was no gain for them to release that information of it being a false thing, knowing that people will then probe it. Does that make sense? Why waste their time? Or why waste their time and resources? years later, I do believe they may have covered something up. They've spent the last 4 years trying to release, or sorry, not release, trying to retract a lot of the information about it in the intel. And then once they've finally figured out the fact that they got rid of everything and they couldn't really follow any leads, that's when they released the information. And then, like I say, it's all up for speculation then. Probably only a handful of people knew the actual real reason. Whether it ever comes to light is up to them. If they're still alive as well, because that's actually 70 years ago. And to be on board that ship in the first place, you'll have probably have been 18 to 30. That puts you at a very high age already, 88 to 100 years old. With a very restricted crew that actually saw anything, because like they say, ship caught fire and a lot of them just retreated. That leaves a very, very, very slim chance of finding anyone that was actually on board that day. In this day and age, anyway. I've wolfed this down. Look, that's all that's left. These chorizo chunks are incredible. I fucking love chorizo. Well, sorry. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I'm going to edit this, get it out tomorrow. Simply Viva on the Road to Glory. Please drop a like below if you want to see any more of these. I'm not going to lie, guys. Absolutely no idea what happened there. My recording just stopped. So, not sure how much I said, but the next one to go for is the naming of America. So, right, the naming of America is here. Come on, I'll get to it. So, if you guys want to see why America was named America, then do let me know. I mean, it's a conspiracy theory. So there's a conspiracy theory of why America's called America. That's mental. That's one to find out. If you have enjoyed today's video, please do let me know. Leave a comment down below of what other ones you might like to see. Or if not, just comment that you want to see this next one, and in a few weeks' time we will visit it and have a look. I'll sit and eat my dinner again